We're at 8:25. Mary Ashmore is on the line. Mary is an education expert. I got a hunch, I got a feeling, Mary, that you're not too keen on Sprint's plan to market phones to kids as young as 5.
Wow, that sounds very, very young. I raised 2 kids, and they didn't get cell phones till they could drive cars, and that's when I started to worry or want to be connected with them in a little bit better way. But to have these kids grow up way too fast and put cell phones into their hands at 5, 6, 7, 8, I just thought the age gap was a bit much.
I got a 13-year-old at home, and he's got an iPod, and they can do a lot of stuff with the iPods. We were having the phone conversation again last night because he may be the only 13-year-old on the planet that doesn't have a cell phone. And whenever he brings it up, I go, who are you going to call? What are you going to do with the phone that you can't do now? I don't understand it. And when you go clear down to 5, why does a 5-year-old need a phone?
I agree, 100%. So I'm thinking for the 13-year-old, maybe starting at 11, 12, 13, you want to teach them how to use the cell phone to be responsible. I think with mobile devices comes responsibility. And so maybe this kind of device where you can control how many numbers he can call and how many numbers he can receive and how many text messages and so forth and so on. So you can begin to teach the kids maybe 11 to 14, 15 before they get a full mobile device. But the younger ones, as it is, they're growing up way too fast. They need to go outside and play.
Yeah, and when they got the phone, they usually sit down and veg, and I don't think that's how. In your experience, and this is off the beaten path, but in your experience, do you think there's any possible connection between ADHD and the explosion of that and kids not being very active?
Oh, very good question. Maybe. I think they need to always stay engaged and be interested in what they're doing. I know schools have had a challenge with that as well. I do know that when you put a child in front of a computer and you give them something to learn and engage into the learning using that kind of a device, they do tend to stay still a little bit longer.
Okay.
They're anxious to learn. You put kids in front of a computer, they may stay there a couple hours. I had a parent call me from New Jersey one night, and her 10-year-old girl, ADHD, she was trying to learn history, and it was a tough, the lecture moment was very difficult for her. Gave her 2 of our web lessons to learn U.S. history with, and all of a sudden the little girl sat at her computer, did her 2 lessons. The mom was calling me late at night one night and said, can I please have some more lessons? I've never seen her so engaged.
Well, there you go. In
the learning. So they can transform them. But
okay.
Yes, they do need a balance of sitting and vegging and getting out and playing.
Yeah, it just seems sometimes, the kids are so twitchy, and I just don't think they go out and burn enough calories, but maybe that's just me. Mary Ashmore, education expert on the live line right now. And Mary, when you see, the phone coming out for these young kids, there's people that might argue, with you, hey, you gave your kid a mobile device when they start to drive, and that might be the exact wrong time with all the texting and driving and distracted driving stories we have.
Very good point. But you know what? They're going to do it, so we might as well teach them how to do it responsibly. And when they're not, then we take that little, we take it away from them. You have to teach them in a certain way, and maybe this device is making an effort to do that. But still, they're too young. I think they're very, very young. We'll see what happens.
Well, I'm with you. I know the phones are programmed to only call up to, 20 numbers. But, think back to not even you. Because back in the day of the rotary phone, you didn't call because it hurt your finger. But now, does your 5-year-old really have 20 people he needs to call? I don't know. I know I'm a fuddy-duddy on that, but I don't happen to get it. Anyway, Mary, I appreciate the take.